my indigenous and aboriginal belief system is bad, let me reform it by myself. It shouldn't take a foreigner to tell me that my house is smelly. So therefore, we have to come to a point where we must talk to ourselves as a people. And even the bad governance we talk about is as a result of bad and wrong culture we imbibed. Oyo Empire was a country, and Oyo Empire ran successfully. We were having children and delivering children and having child delivery. We were having headache, we were sick, we were helping ourselves medically before the white men came. How did we do it? As a young boy, if you had fever, they just put some herbs in hot water. You drink for a couple of days and you get well. There was no Panadol. There was no Fensic. So how did we survive? This is the point we need to get to from this moment. The man that has become the president of Nigeria didn't drop from the sky. It's part of us. The policeman you claim is corrupt didn't drop from the sky. If a policeman is corrupt, it means Nigeria is corrupt. Simple. So, I spoke at an event with the Chinese people, and I made them understand that the Chinese didn't care about foreign culture. They stuck to their guns, they made mistakes, and they got better. For 30 years, they closed their border. 30 years, they made their shoes, they made their glasses, they made their clothes, and they retained their language. And today, Chinese is one of the greatest nations in the world. Can't you see? This is where the issues actually are. I actually thought I was going to speak with a lot of, and I had speeches prepared until somebody came to me and said, can I read my speech? If I can't read it, just use it for post-media, but the point even in that speech is still very simple. We can stop the incursion and the insurgency on the internet on our people. If we do not stop it, we are going to sink at some point. No way. A child is born, and I want to tell you that today that a man is first of all a product of his culture before being a product of a nation. A man is a citizen of his culture before he becomes a citizen of the nation. A 2-year-old boy, you start to deal with him and say, what jam? Because culture has about 5 elements: language, cuisine, dressing, and so on and so forth. So you say to a 2-year-old boy, what jam? What worship? What losses? At that point, he doesn't even know what country he belongs. When he starts to get to school and they say, you are in Nigeria, and this is Nigeria, you are a Nigerian, and they begin to teach him what they call nationalism, patriotism, and all of that. Otherwise, you just grow along that cultural understanding. What I'm saying, in essence, is that culture is everything. The way we think, the way we reason, the way we believe, the way we behave is our culture. So, what I consider the nexus of development is actually cultural renaissance. And I heard an organization called National Institute for Cultural Orientation. I've been there for 7 months now, and we have taken some bold steps. We created a monotechnic called Nigerian Academy for Cultural Studies. And we have a department, we plan to have a department called Cultural Technology. What do we want to achieve with cultural technology? Most of the things we use can be made locally. There is nothing in this world that is not available in Nigeria. What has killed us is our laziness and inability to think deeply. Maybe I call it leadership laziness, maybe. Because I was speaking to a senior citizen day before yesterday, and I said, how did we get here? And he said to me, just like every country with petrodollar, they are lazy. They believe the money from petrol can do everything and do anything. and they refuse to innovate. Our own petrol is drying up now, and we are facing the reality of the time. Why do we have to be buying dollar for 1,600? Because we are not productive as a nation. How do we want to get productive? Why do we spend 25 billion US dollars on human hair? What's so called? It's just things made from skin of goat, hair of sheep, hair of all of that are in abundance here. So what we plan to do with cultural technology is to look in our environment, take the things we have cheaply, bamboo, palm front, palm tree, all of that. Get China to give us the technology and we turn it into things we can use daily without having to import. Why do we have to import toothpick? Why? So, and it doesn't have to be the president or the senator. It has to be us, me and you. We need to start something. Why won't we be able to feed ourselves when it is easy for you to grow yam in your home and eat? And we're now going to be buying yam for 5,000, 3,000. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem of Nigeria is our individual problem and our loss of cultural value. Everything that's gone wrong with our country, from insurgency to kidnapping to corruption, is because this country had lost its cultural value. As a young boy, you won't look at your elder eyeball to eyeball. Yes. And the essence of that is that when you see somebody older, you believe he has better wisdom, you believe he has better experience, and you submit yourself under his leadership. That's the essence of Yoruba man going down to meet an elder. Confidence. So if you now juxtapose that into politics and governance, you can then see that our culture is dominantly a culture of respect. What did the Chinese do? They formed their national policies based on their culture. Their technology emerged based on their culture. Japan. And we're a country of 230 million people. We shouldn't sink. If we sink, West Africa may sink. So, the Renaissance should start from everyone in this hall. It's not about governor or president or senator. I was on TV a couple of days ago when they were doing that riot, and I said to them, Nigeria should not be taken over by faceless people. Anybody who means to say anything, it doesn't matter how bad what you intend to say, let them know that you are bold enough to say it and this is you. So if you organize a protest and it turns violent, then we should hold you responsible. And that's all. There's nothing wrong with protest. Protest is naturally allowed, but we must be responsible. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let us know today the importance of culture. It's the reason why I'm here. If I felt a bit less of Bayero, I would have turned back, because airpeace actually, we had gone into the aircraft, we disembarked, we waited, they looked for another aircraft, and we landed there at 11:30 p.m. But one good turn deserves another. This gentleman has done it. In days we were doing telecom awards, and I feel that it's just right for me to honor him. I want to leave you all here with a simple impression. And I'll tell you that there's just a thin line between civilization and primitivity. And I'll try to explain. Let us imagine they think we are primitive as a people, and America is civilized. At the peak of that civilization, they look back into the excitement inherent in primitivity. And that is why we have tourism and cultural tourism. I organized World Shango Festival in 2013, and we hosted close to 10,000 to 20,000 foreigners. What were they looking for? After all, we are primitive. And if you do that better, you can have a million visitors to Nigeria. I now ask you don't rush me, I know they allow person rush me. I want to ask you a simple question. Does anybody in this hall know what they call Ifa? Yes. Why do we go to Jerusalem every year to worship God? or Mecca for Easter. We have 450 million people that are excited and related to Ifa all over the world. Imagine we're able to organize something like a pilgrimage that can host 2 million people and they spend $5,000. That is almost $10 billion US. We have to be innovative. We have to be innovative. We have what it takes to be a great nation. Our problem is that we are lazy. Ladies and gentlemen, my agency is thinking of actually organizing World Asia Congress, and everyone will not fall. And Nigeria will make a lot of money. That is what is important. Of what essence is religion without economy? Poverty. And poverty is just not our lot. Ladies and gentlemen, the message I want to leave with you this morning is that we need to recalibrate. We need to think over and over again. And you young people, the important thing actually is to be innovative and great. Well, for those of us that are slightly over 60, our time is fast spent. 20 years down the line, we are old men, very old men, and we really can't do a lot. You young people, you are the ones that will actually make Nigeria great, whether you like it or not. So take up the responsibility now and do what you have to do. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.
I think it deserves a